Eric. Thanks for being here today and answering some of my questions. The first of which is, can you tell me a little bit about the cars you brought here today?
Sure, Lexi. Well, thanks for having me. It's really great to talk to you today. We are really excited here at the ACT Expo 2021 to be launching a brand new hybrid Ram 2500/3500 heavy-duty pickup truck here at the show. It's a brand new OEM application for us. After years of electrifying Ford, GM, and Isuzu vehicles, we can now add the great work trucks from Stellantis to that list. We also have a great 3500 Silverado hybrid in the background there that's up on a lift with a service body from Knapheide. So that's a great application for utility trucks, for really a whole range of work truck applications. And so it's great to have that product here as well. And we have it up on a lift so you can see the fully underbody mounted system that we have on display. So it's a great opportunity to see up under the chassis of this vehicle, and then we can do a walk around on the new Ram product as well. So it's a great setup here at the show, and we're excited to be talking to a lot of customers this week.
So can you tell me a little bit about what's so unique about the Ram and why fleets would be really excited about it?
Oh, well, definitely. I mean, fleets have been asking us for years to electrify a Ram product. The fleets that drive these vehicles really love, the heavy-duty towing capacity and the power and the torque that a Ram already has, and it's a really just a heavy-duty, luxury design, and people who spec Rams into their fleet. They've been asking us for years to electrify these products, so we're excited to bring this to market and really open up an entirely new group of customers that we've not been able to serve, specifically who drive Ram applications. So it's a great announcement for XL Fleet, and I know our customers have really been excited that we've added this truck into our lineup.
So for those who aren't maybe familiar with the XL Fleet product, can you kind of walk us through what kind of technology is involved?
Sure, it's actually a very simple system. We add an electric motor onto the drive shaft. And so the electric motor will add additional 220 foot-pounds of torque into the drive line during acceleration. So as the driver accelerates, the electric motor supplements the power from the gas-powered engine. We never take over the full propulsion of the vehicle. Instead, we're supplementing it during the acceleration process, because that is the least efficient part of the drive cycle. When they're electrifying, you're burning the most gas, the engine is working the hardest that it does. So we are supplementing the acceleration power, minimizing or reducing the amount that the engine is working. Therefore, you're burning less gas, you're emitting fewer carbon dioxide emissions. And so when you're braking, the electric motor on the drive shaft spins the other direction and acts as a generator. So it helps to slow down the vehicle, and it captures the excess power through that drive cycle, stores it in the battery pack that is neatly and professionally mounted under the vehicle, and that power is now available for when the driver accelerates again. The entire process goes back through, and the electric motor spins the other direction again and accelerates and helps the driver accelerate through a normal standard drive cycle. And then we have an inverter that sits with the battery, which is sort of the brains of the operation, and it tells the system, okay, expel energy or store energy. And the great thing from a driver's perspective, they're not inside the cab of the vehicle switching anything on and off. It's completely seamless to them. They'll feel that additional torque when they're accelerating, but there's nothing that they have to do. They don't have to worry about the range considerations. They don't have to worry about driving the system, driving the vehicle any differently. Our system just works in the background, and it just reduces the amount of gas that's consumed, the amount of carbon dioxide emissions that are happening, and it makes it a more sustainable vehicle in a very seamless way.
Well, that's great. Can you please tell me a little bit about, the fleet customers? What kind of benefits do these vehicles provide them?
Well, fleet customers love our hybrid lineup of pickup trucks for a couple reasons. First of all, there's no infrastructure required to operate these vehicles. They're completely self-sustaining. through the hybrid system. So they don't need to add additional charging infrastructure. They don't need to change their operations at all. The mechanics and the service technicians that they have on staff are still able to work on these vehicles in the same way that they would any traditional gas-powered trucks. And in addition, our systems do not disrupt the OEM factory warranty on these vehicles. So that's a great benefit for fleets who are looking to add sustainability to their fleet immediately and not have to wait for all electric versions of vehicles to be released or have to worry about adding additional infrastructure or worrying about range anxiety. A lot of the impediments to electrifying your fleet, these vehicles overcome. So it's a great way to get sustainability immediately introduced into your fleet without having to worry about all the drawbacks or the additional considerations that you normally have to take when you're electrifying your fleet.
So when it comes to speccing an XL fleet vehicle, what kind of work goes into that and how difficult is it?
It's actually very easy. One of the great things about speccing an XL vehicle is that you don't have to spec it at all. If you specify either of these vehicles into your fleet, or any XL fleet vehicle for that matter, the same specifications you would run for your traditional gas-powered vehicles, for your fleet vehicles, are the same specs that will apply to our system. We're not disrupting anything from the native OEM platform. We're not ripping out the engine. We're not taking out any of the core specifications of the vehicle and the system. So whatever specifications you have in place in order to run these trucks in your fleet, the same specifications can apply to us. Now, if you want to specifically specify a hybrid system, you're really just adding, a hybrid capacity or a hybrid capability or a sustainable capability to the same specifications you have in place today. But it's very easy to get these vehicles spec'd into your fleet, regardless of kind of what you have it set up as today.
I'm sure that's very attractive to fleet managers as well.
It definitely is, because that's a long-term consideration. Fleets spend a lot of time speccing these vehicles into their fleet, and so we don't want to disrupt that. So it's a big advantage of putting on a system like ours. So we're simply electrifying the same vehicles that you know and love and have used for years. We're just turning them into more sustainable vehicles for your fleet.
So what are some of the things that fleet customers really like about XL fleet vehicles?
I'd say the main things that we hear from customers is that they're really easy to adopt and use in their fleets. So there's no additional driver training that's needed for these. You don't need to train your maintenance technicians. If they're used to driving or working on these vehicles, they're going to be accustomed to it. They're not going to be surprised by anything that is related to our system. The drivers are still driving the same vehicles, gas-powered vehicles they've known and loved over the years, and operationally that applies as well. So you're not adding additional infrastructure, you're not having to spec out and worry about what your grid requirements are, for the electricity coming into your facility. Our systems are all self-sustaining, whether it's a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid. So they're really easy to use, operate, maintain, and deploy in your fleet. And it's a fast path to sustainability. So fleet managers today are dealing with a lot of requirements, and they're increasingly mandated to apply sustainability or to add sustainable fleet vehicles, into their operations. And our systems give fleet managers the ability to do that very quickly and easily without disrupting their operations. So we hear that a lot from fleets, that they really like how easy and seamless it is to adopt our vehicles. And that's a big advantage for fleets when they're looking to move forward on sustainability targets right away.
Obviously, sustainability has come to the forefront of a lot of fleet managers' minds. What kind of things is XL Fleet doing to help fleet managers meet those goals?
Well, sustainability has really overtaken total cost of ownership. When you look at some of the fleet studies out there, and they're talking about reasons for electrifying. The desire to electrify used to be all about TCO. TCO is still extremely important, but sustainability goals and increasingly mandates have been a big part of why fleet managers want to look at sustainable electric vehicles, electrified vehicles, and adding them into their fleet. It's a big priority for fleet managers today. So being able to do that in a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid is a real advantage for fleets because they're able to move the needle immediately on those sustainability goals without disrupting their operations. So a lot of them are concerned about, well, if I'm moving forward with an electric vehicle, am I going to have to add new infrastructure? Am I going to have to start looking at range considerations? Am I going to have to hire a whole new group of service technicians to be able to service these vehicles? With our systems, they're bolting onto existing gas-powered vehicles that are already in use today. And so it's a very seamless way to add immediately sustainability value, 25 to 50% improvement in miles per gallon, 20 to 33% improvement in CO2 emissions. That moves the needle significantly toward your sustainability goals, and you're able to do that without disrupting operations and without disrupting the OEM factory warranty on these systems. That's huge for fleet managers who are looking to make progress on these goals right away without having to worry about all the ancillary considerations that electrification can sometimes bring.
And I definitely think it starts to almost help them future-proof their fleet as well.
It definitely does. I mean, in the case of our plug-in hybrid systems, for example, fleets can start to electrify and start to increase their charging infrastructure, right? If they have some level of charging infrastructure, they're able to deploy our plug-in hybrid units as an example and really prove the value of those systems before shifting to an all-electric, and the operational disruption or the operational considerations that need to be made with those types of fleet vehicles. Ours are a great proof of concept, and frankly, there are quite a few applications, work truck applications, for which all-electric vehicles are never really going to be a good option. So I would say that these are not only a short-term bridge technology, but a long-term consideration as well for a variety of applications that will never really be well suited for full-scale electrification.